Welcome back, beautiful souls, to Channel Your Light, Own Your Intuitive. It has been forever and a day, and it's been, I think, 8 months since I've been on here. I needed to take a step back and disentangle my energy in order to move through different layers, nuances, and dimensions for myself. So it feels so good to be back here. And welcome back, friends. I hope you've all been well. I know that everyone has been going through some massive internal shifts. Some of you are ahead of the curve, already been through the shifts. Some of you are in the midst of it. And some of you are about to move through the shift, is what I'm hearing. And apparently that's where we're going to focus. So, I'm just grateful to be back here. It feels so good. And in addition, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for waiting for me. Side note, somebody on here, messages have been piling up. This is true. Thank you for waiting for me. Thank you for allowing me to find my own footing. Thank you for the grace and compassion. Thank you for recognizing that all souls are on their own timelines, moving through all of their own shifts. Thank you for the deep and profound divine love that each of you have shared to me, for me, and with me throughout the last 8 months that I've been gone. And good God, do I have a lot to share and a lot of messages that came through. Fortunately, we're operating in the quantum field, so time is irrelevant in terms of everyday linear constructs. Channeled messages often for people are plucked from the time-space continuum, and I'm seeing the trust, the egg moon, the trust card, having trust that no messages are lost. They've simply been floating around, and now we're plopping it through the divine funnel to deliver it. So take that how it resonates. Bear with me as I just kind of lean back in and find my way as this flow. For those of you who've only watched a few of my channels, I just want to share the embodiment of channels and how this happens. I wanted to create segues on this channel for different aspects of bridging the gap. I also want to utilize it to channel profound deities, goddesses, wisdoms, all of those things, higher dimensional beings, the Galactic Council of Light, whatever may show up. But in addition, we're also going to be diving into some truths. I can't just be one thing or share one thing. I operate multi-dimensionally as if it is second nature. In one moment, we might talk about psychology. In another moment, we might talk about emotions. In another moment, somebody's passed on loved one might show up. And in another moment, your higher self might step in, as this is happening right now, saying, I really need this message. Clarification I'm hearing. It's a clarification. So whoever this message is for, as always, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. My job is not to tell you what to do, but rather to open the expansive channels and frequencies to allow the higher guidance to come through. What you do with that higher guidance is completely up to you. Utilize your intuition. Never make a message fit. If it's yours, you'll know it. If it's not, you'll also know it. You'll have a disconnected feeling, is kind of how it's coming through for somebody as a way of measuring, what's for me and what's not for me. Not every message is for you is very clear for somebody on here. So don't make a message fit. So I want to dive into the precognition. And precognition is future, precognicizing the future events. And this is important for whoever this message is for, who's about to move through this shift. Everything that you have resounding, there is a resounding chorus of the divine, of guides in the ethers, resounding out. And I'm seeing bells, almost like wedding bells, but it's not wedding bells. It's 11:11 on my clock right now. It's celebration, the chimes. There's something significant about this for you. I know they have great significance for me, but I just kind of want to ground into this. It's a resounding bells or resounding chimes, the resounding frequency and vibration of light and sound merging as one, creating a beautiful harmonic field of vibrational energies that are actually leading the way for you. So whoever this is, you have profound precognition, but because it's precog, you haven't always had, whoa, you've been way ahead of the time frames. And this has been difficult for you because you sense things and you know things, whether you're a seer, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, all the clairs, all of it, whatever it is. This precognition that you've had, because there's been such a delay, they're saying we're delaying gratification is kind of a way you could look at it, but there's been such a delay in seeing the outward or external unfolding of those precog events that you've sensed into, that you have a deep knowing about, that it caused profound doubt within you. For somebody on here, and this is also a dual message, a side note for a light worker, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And you're like, it's not coming, it's not coming. I keep hearing that and nothing's happening. So fuck it. That's how it's coming through. Whoever that message is for, we're just kind of leaning in. Wrapping the arms around it. The divine is wrapping their arms around you. Take heart, dear heart. All that you have seen is happening. It is happening multidimensionally. The future unfolds in the moments that precede it, just like the identities of the self. There are moments that precede the shaping and molding of the identity. Those who have had a precognitive awareness, I'm seeing an old shaman as well, who has handed down the stories through time, through lineages, through the tapestries. I also have the grandmothers here. This is very exciting for whoever this message is for. You will know this is yours. There's things you know, things you felt, things you've seen, things you've experienced that are in the formless energy, but haven't really come into form. I'm seeing back to back to back to back to back. It's like proof, form, form, form. It's like all this delayed. They're showing me it's like the what's the words for that, spirit? My daughter Ava wants to step in here as a message for somebody on here. There's been like this gap of time, but it's not been a gap. It's been a period of strengthening. It's been a period of coming into one's own authority. And I don't mean a gap like you exited the building. It's almost like from the precog point, there's like this big, vast space in linear man's time, a big linear chunk of time where none of those things were apparent, but they were spiritually known, but not seen in the reality. So during that space, all of these things were lining up and happening and shifting and changing and aligning. You were being prepared for it. Everyone else was being prepared for it. And all of a sudden, we've moved through a gateway, is what they're saying. That was the purpose of the Archer's portal through the month of December, from the new moon to the new moon, spanning, I think it was the 1st or 2nd of December, right up until the end, right before we stepped into the new year. And happy Lunar New Year and Year of the Snake. So just popping that in there because I'm so happy to be back here with all of you. It feels good. It feels good. It feels good. Bless all your hearts and souls. Back to this message. There's been this huge time frame where a lot of you have struggled in bridging this gap or seeing the spiritual knowings come into a tangible form. We're about to have rapid, fast action and movement that is almost like all the things that seems to stretch in that void all come in one after the other after the other. You are called to have deep trust and focus on this. Show them what you're made of. And the reason that song lyrics coming through is not that you're showing people what you're made of, you're seeing what you're made of, as in all of that precognition was literally gathering momentum to all be delivered with you now. And they're saying, go back to delayed gratification. This is like a delayed gratification or delayed validation or a delayed clarification. So this is somebody who's about to move through the shift or move through the gateway. Somebody's moving through a gateway. There's nothing holding you back. You can hold you back, but there's nothing holding you back. I did not expect this to go this way, but we're going to roll with it. And I trust the divine timing of it. There's also a second message from somebody's guide. This is also an ancient shaman. Do not disconnect. Oh, ooh. I also have the wrathful black dakini here. Allow yourself to align with your higher self. Allow the lower densities to be taken care of on their own. Remove and detach from the need to seek out or avoidance or needing to see karma. So there's an avoidance of karma, but there's also, this is a really interesting message, and I'm just going to trust that it's meant to come through. There is somebody surrounding. They're showing me the energy moving around one of you. Your higher self is pointing it out to me. The energy moving around you has a lot to do with karmic seeds of attachment and karmic energies. They're showing me that if you give it focus, it has the tendency to pull you down or draw down your energy into the lower dense frequencies. Your job is to hand it over, offer it to the divine. This is why the wrathful black dakini is here. To hand it over to her and allow yourself to continue the momentum and moving forward, not looking back, nothing holding you back. The divine will take care of those energies. It's a karmic energy trying to grip on. And this can be expected anytime we elevate, friends. Like when we're shifting from 3D to 5D, when we're, dissolving identities or we're healing all past wounds and we detach from them. There are individuals and circumstances in life that are connected to whatever we were attached to. So it's very natural when we detach from an energy for those energies and those alignments, as they become detached, the people who are connected to them, you'll notice that they get ramped up. You'll notice they might start showing back up. This dakini is associated with the practice of chode, which is a radical sacred severing that, it is a severing. Forgive me, because this is not my expertise. However, in the last 8 months, I have moved through some very deep realms with the wisdom goddesses, the Mahabijas, as well as a number of other ancient teachings and wisdoms. So this is coming forward through this way for somebody on here, and I'm just going to trust it. When we detach and move into our higher selves, and you have the experiences or sense the energies coming towards you, is because they have sensed that you have detached from that continuum, that timeline, that linear energy. This practice of sacred cord cutting, this is why people, when you cut cords, you'll notice that suddenly people start calling you out of nowhere. It's because energetically, unconsciously, there is an awareness that a transference of energy or a flow through of energy has been severed. Those who rely heavily on one person's energy and have a tendency, this has to do with somebody related to codependency, have a tendency to have a lot of codependent relationships. When you begin to detach and come into your own independence that fosters interdependence with others, any of those individuals who held a codependent energetic transference with you will sense this and actually come forwards or it's like that crabs in the bucket, right? Crabs in the bucket. That's what's coming through. When one crab almost gets up to the top, it's like all the other crabs try to grab onto it and it pulls the crab back down. It's that idea. In shamanic initiations, the crab often comes as an offering to clean out old wounds. That is the energy that is coming in right now, is the consciousness of that shamanic practice and initiation. Although there are different facets of that process, I'm only going to speak to this one at this time because that is what is most relevant for the individuated souls who will be receiving these channeled messages. Welcome home, dear heart. The crab cleans and clears. plucking and pulling and digging into those deep wounds, pulling them out. For when a cord has attached, it is often moved into the energetic field and attaches like the roots of a tree might be, as a metaphor. In this way, these attachments do not have the strength of the tree it is rooted to. Therefore, the tree must come into their own sacred power and knowing, slowly and gently detangling, unraveling, and detaching the core seed or the tentacles of it, removing that and then flooding it out. The crab initiates this by moving into those deep wounds, calling it out, calling out the darkness, the sludge, the stickiness, the stuckness, the ickiness, the blame, shame, guilt, fear, all of those things associated with it. And the mothers or the grandmothers or the divine pure light frequency energy that is accessible to us all this time now has some space to come in to fill that area. This is part of the shift that's happening, and they're giving it to me in this way through this metaphor because they're highlighting the fact that many of you have gone through great purges just within the last month alone. These may have been great swings of emotions, thought forms, psychological storms, or emotional storms. Know that this was a crab at work, preparing you to make space for the divine knowledge to come in, just as we do with Guhya, who is the secret blessings of the divine, the secret teachings, the revelations. Through the psychological and emotional storms comes a great liberation and a freedom. In this space, this is where the divine energy moves through us, taking up space, embodying our higher selves, becoming rooted and grounded. This new moon is where many will come to the understanding of the authority of your own energy, the power you have to become the authority of your own kingdom. Sovereign energies, choosing what is alignment with you, no longer disregarding the higher self, the intuitive knowings, but stepping fully and powerfully into embodying them and sharing them. I'm getting that book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Apparently I'm swearing a lot on this and I don't know that it's needed, but that's the title of the book. So it's that, right? And it's not that we don't care, it's that we no longer hold ourselves back because we care what others think, thus freeing us to not care what others think, and also deepening, rooting, and grounding our ability to be ourselves. Because in truth, the most powerful people, the most powerful spirits walking the earth plane are those who have embraced and accepted every facet of who they are, no matter what it is or what it looks like. When one accepts all of them, they become free to not give a crap and just do what they do and be who they are and allow others to like it or not like it, because it doesn't matter. You become the authority of you. And that is such a powerful state to be in. And in addition, it's in divine alignment. They're saying it is in divine alignment in all the three planes that create reality. It brings all the dimensions into a focus that streamlines. This is why whoever this message is for is going to be going from this huge, vast years, chunks of space of having precog to suddenly all of it coming into the alignment. Notice that my screen just went from dark to light. That's so fascinating that the light energy in the room is really encompassing. And I feel like raising up this message for somebody on here to understand the capacity that you have, that your only job is to be uniquely and profoundly you, that in all the places that you dislike yourself, there is love. In all the shadows, there is light. And Guhya says, in the shadows is where you will discover the revelations of the power of you, to become the authority of you, to become the deciding factor of who you are and who you are not, what you want and what you do not want, allowing the path of your soul's desires. And I don't mean man's desires where it's very surface. I'm talking about the unfolding path of desire, the seed of wisdom, that when we simply fulfill blah, blah, blah. I'm tripping on my words. So maybe this is somebody that struggles with communication, because I now have the planet Mercury stepping in to complete this message they're saying, oh, welcome back, Aaron. To complete this message, Mercury, maybe that's one of you I'm sensing into, but whoever that is, I deeply feel your higher self aligning, unifying, merging, coming together in this profound network of light, understanding the unity of all things. Hallelujah. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy that so many souls are moving into that dimensional realm of understanding. There is a profound peace and relief in it, and deep connection where we get to not only see the higher aspects of things, but we also have a greater understanding of our own soul's blueprint. So interesting messages. I love that. That makes me very excited. Now, Mercury, communication, somebody that struggled with their words. There is nothing holding you back. That message is coming forward again for whoever this message is for. Forgive me if this seems choppy and all over the place, but Mercury says they're going to wrap this up, making it come full circle to the original message of the original person, but also streamlining and merging all the multiple cross points of each individual spirit and soul that will be receiving this. Although the entire message may not be for you, there is woven into the tapestry the different messages that are relevant to your highest timeline that you will know and simply allow to integrate. Mercury wishes to wrap this up because this becomes an era of communication, communicating from the depths of the heart, communicating from your higher self, where there has been blocks and limitations in your communication due to that vast chunk of time where reality was not the same as the spiritual realms or what you were sensing. This is that door is about to be closed because the new door is opening. You must first close that door before the new door can open, for there cannot be transference between that door and this door. This is the bridge that many are at. Mercury says that communication, ding, 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 my computer just dinged. Mercury says that communication is a factor for many because the throat chakra is the etheric template representing the divine blue, the energy of divine power, but the etheric template that also is how our world comes into form. We must have strengthened each individuated soul stepping through this gateway. I said stole instead of soul, and that is significant for somebody on here. So take that. STOLL is how it's coming through versus soul. So dual message again. They're saying we're layering the messages soul and stole. I'm not sure who it's for. Let me know in the comments is that for if that's for you. And that's also somebody who's struggling with their words. It feels very, see how the light just went kind of dimmy dark there and kind of strange. It's somebody that's harboring. Whoa, look at that. I'm watching the screen here. That's wild. I love the divine. I love energy. I love frequencies. And I have a lot of songs playing. Wow. And they're light language songs coming back online to be remembered. So bear with me, friends, as I just share these messages. Thank you, Mercury. You're going to discover I'm coming forward now at this point in time, 2025, committed to consistently sharing different messages, channels. I'm also going to be teaching about different things on here too, because I am deeply passionate about teaching others how to really open up and get into alignment and a deep faith and trust in their own energy, their intuition, their unique spirit. And that's really important to me because that's how each person comes into their power, by honoring the sacredness of themselves and the uniqueness. Imagine that we have been walking around this earth plane through multiple time frames and lifetimes of trying to conform to be like everybody else, only to discover you're supposed to be different and unique in your own way. And that's, oh, wow. That's perhaps the journey of all beings, is to simply do if it makes you happy. That's Cheryl Crow. That's coming through for crows. And somebody by the name of Cheryl, crows and the ravens. Estoy enurrándote Deep magic is unfolding for those of the crows and the ravens. It is of utmost importance that you lean into it. Do not deny, dismiss any precognitions that you have at this time, for they bear the fruits of your labor. Follow the divine desire. For those of you that attune and relate to the crows and the ravens, know that we receive the vision in order from our higher selves to take the seed of that vision in bloom, to then place that seed into your conscious field of the embodiment of your physical self, aligning the spiritual vision into the physical so that it may take root and you may begin the journey of it unfolding. Do not dismiss or discredit those visions and those versions of you. Ding, ding, ding. Spirit saying, those are not just visions that you have encountered, dear soul, whoever this message is for, and whoever this is for, you are epically powerful. Ooh, I mean, like, ooh, I'm seeing all these higher self faces. You're receiving the message. I'm hearing message received from your higher self, and also message delivered. And I'm seeing this envelope with a heart, but it's got a star on it, and it represents the star of the 5 dimensions of the self, the 5 elements, the 5. Whoa. They're all 5s, 555, change, transformation. Anyways, whoever this is for is a witchy woman. Ooh, witchy woman. See how high she flies. That's so funny. I can't remember what song that is, but it's okay. I'm saying this because it's the reference also of the pentagram for somebody on here practicing that earth magic, understanding that the visions that you have had, that precog, is not just a vision of your future. It's also a version of you that is required to embody the future. Hence that big chunk of time where things didn't seem to be working out. There was a struggle, there was darkness, there was all these pieces that didn't make sense. We're coming to the gateway and the portal where it's all just going to come into natural unfolding in beautiful alignment, because you are now in alignment in all 3 planes in multiple dimensions. Wow. Please let me know who this message is for in the comments. I feel like this is a long message, but you know what? Hey, I haven't been on here in 8 and 9 months. I am so excited to share all the messages that have been piling through and coming in for all of you. And thank you so much for being respectful of my choice to take time away from the channel in order to do my own up-leveling, move through great expanses and dimensions. I have been developing courses. You are welcome to check out the Dimensions of You course, which is the dimensional process of creating realities, and so much good stuff in there. But then there's also the Unleash Your Inner Goddess, a coursework moving from shadow to light for divine feminines. Feel free to check that out. I will link these in the comments below. Course, if you wish to book a private session with me and connect with your higher self, your guides, and move through the beautiful expanses of the divine realms to help guide you into the physical embodiment of it, please feel free to book a private session with me, which you can find on my website as well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your compassion, your love, and your patience. I'm so freaking excited to get into some of these messages. Some of them were so powerful, I wanted to dim them down because, but I'm just trusting not to dim. I also have Yuga Kali here, not to dim the divine messages. That's a message for me, friends, because they are of great relevance for certain souls. So, happy new moon, beautiful souls. Happy lunar new year, the year of the snake. Yes. May you burn brightly for your soul's deepest desire. And may you charge forwards into your liberation, your joy, your creativity, and your deepest fulfillment and contentment on this earth plane in this incarnation. And I'm hearing that's all, folks. Happy to be back. Let me know in the comments how you all have been, and I'll see you in the next video.